Hello friends. Welcome to Indian Defense Horizon. Today I am going to talk about something that I know many of us share in our hearts, but not many of us speak frankly about. I am going to speak about the Indian defense industry's untenably heavy reliance on government-run institutions like HAL and DRDO. I think this is a big reason for the mess we are in today. Let me explain. Defense is one area that is always at the forefront of technology. Many of the technologies we use today, from the internet to cell phones, from GPS to duct tape, from microwave ovens to personal computers, all in some way or form had their origin in the military. Needless to say, defense technology requires the most creative, dedicated, and hard-working minds. Now please compare this need with how government bodies are run. Compare this need for independent creative thinking with how bureaucratic, rule-bound, and slow government processes are. Therefore, it goes without saying that government institutions like DRDO and HAL will struggle to foster true, unbridled creativity. And I am not trying to malign these bodies or talk trash about them. I am just stating that these bodies, by virtue of being government institutions, are just not organized to be competitive in the high-tech fields that demand human beings to think out of the box, to not be limited by paperwork or seniority, to let their imaginations and ingenuity test new ideas and experiment with them. And this is not an India-specific problem. Around the world, there have been very few examples of government institutions fostering creativity with any regularity. The USA is of course the prime example where defense research is primarily and almost solely performed by private players like Boeing, Lockheed, Northrop, etc. Projects are funded by the government, but the research and development is privately run mostly. Even nations like Russia have started doing this, with the Sukhoi and Mikoyan design bureaus now being run somewhat independently of the government. The China example is also not appropriate, as most of their designs are inspired or imitated Russian and American designs. Also, it is not clear how efficient they are in churning out these inspired designs, as data on how much money goes into their efforts is unreliable. So it is no surprise that DRDO and HAL continue to struggle in meeting the expectations of the armed forces and the nation in an increasingly competitive environment that requires them to be even more agile and alert, something that their bureaucratic systems prevent them from doing. Please don't get me wrong, I am not saying that these two agencies haven't delivered anything. Quite the opposite. I believe DRDO has done some great work with missile technology, and HAL is reasonably competitive in helicopter technology. But what I am saying is that they have made these accomplishments in spite of their structure, and not because of it. And this is where the new private sector players come into the picture. Tata, Kalyani, L&T, Mahindra, Reliance and similar, can turn the tide for India. Just look at what Kalyani has been able to do with artillery guns in such a short time. And look at what BrahMos has been able to deliver. I wholeheartedly support the current government's policy for privatizing the ordnance factories, and giving more and more of defense manufacturing to the private sector players. That is the only way forward. The private sector can initially start as OEMs and manufacturing lines, but soon enough, I am confident, they will move up the value chain and will start churning out full-blown products that can compete with the best. Organizations like DRDO can still play a part as incubators of core technology, but eventually, if things go to plan, the hope is that the private sector will become independent of this help. That is it for this video. Please don't forget to share your comments in the comments section. Take care.